Aaron has failed shot back at another video, and I know it's not Ace behind me. I decided to do a singular Diablo Immortal video on my main channel here, because a lot of people were asking where to find me in terms of Diablo Immortal content, because you know I'm doing it, but it's hard to find me. So I decided to do this one, because I'm going to be talking about the class I'm going to be playing for global launch, as well as some of the resources and teams that we're setting up in the game before the game even launches. So if you're interested in all that, be sure to check out my second channel in Diablo Immortal. I'll leave it in the description and the comments down below, as well as the Discord that we're going to be a part of, which is the Aftershock United team and that whole Discord. That being said, let's jump into the video here and talk about why I'm going to be playing the Crusader. So behind me, you'll see a spreadsheet for the Crusader, and Chosen and I have been developing these spreadsheets on every class, as well as we're going to be developing spreadsheets for the legendary gems, legendary gear, and everything you need to know about Diablo Immortal, essentially. And this is all part of the Aftershock United. In the top right above my head, you'll see that little icon there. And so if you're interested in checking out all these resources, there'll be videos on it from everyone else in the community, so I'll leave all the links to their channels in the description down below. That being said, let's talk about why I'm going to be playing the Crusader. First things first, I am actually not particularly attached to any specific class. My name is Veiled Shot, and when I was creating the name, I kind of had the Demon Hunter aesthetic in mind, so I do tend to lean towards that. However, I'm not really sold on any class. I really am just trying to play the game as hard as I possibly can, and what that means is I'm going to be filling in as a class, and Crusader is perhaps the most wanted party buffer. In general, the most wanted class in every single party, meaning you're going to want one, at least one, probably not more than one, honestly, in every party. So, as such, I'm going to be filling in the Crusader as I'm going to be pushing the game in one of our top teams here. So, what does that have to do with one of the things that I find fun about the class? Well, I think that there's a few abilities here that I'm actually really warming up to as I've been reading through the Crusader, and I am really thinking I'm going to enjoy the Crusader and the gameplay that it has. So first off, I want to talk about the Drawn Quarter here, which you'll see on screen right at the top. This ability is the Crusader. It's pretty much the iconic ability of the Crusader, and everything kind of stems from this one ability. What does this do? Well, you're going to be mounting a horse for several seconds, and you're going to be increasing your movement speed by a significant amount, and replacing your primary attack with a separate primary attack, as well as having Holy Change that bind to nearby enemies. Now, this skill allows you to move and hit, which is really rare in terms of actually the actual primary attacks in the game. Demon Hunter can do it, but generally you're going to have to kind of orb walk, you're going to hit back up, hit back up. And in this case, I'm just going to be running around the map, smacking people with the new primary skill and Drawn Quarter. Not only that, but I'm going to be running around the map really quickly. And that's one of the things I really enjoy doing, is having a lot of movement in the game. Now, granted, it only lasts for 6 seconds, and it has a 16-second cooldown, so it's not going to beat up all the time. And if I don't play it right, I'll get knocked off of it, which can lead to some problems. But overall, you're going to be running around the map probably faster than most other classes out there, and it's going to be extremely, extremely fun, I think, to just mount up on this horse, run around the map, and just smack people. On top of that, this class has perhaps the most insane party buff in the entire game, and one of the reasons why it's so nice to have them in the party every time. The Holy Banner here is insane. It's going to increase your crit chance of all nearby allies. Granted, you're probably going to have to be relatively near melee range for this to take effect. 100% crit chance. You're going to reduce your crit damage, but if you have crit chance in your gear already, you're going to get that crit damage basically back. And this is just a massive damage boost to your whole squad. You're going to be melting through content, bosses, AoE, everything in the game when you have this banner active. It is absolutely insane buff, and probably the main reason why you're going to want the Crusader in your party content in general. Now, one other thing is the Spinning Shield here is also an excellent ability. It's actually kind of fun because you're going to have multiple charges, throwing your shield around, pulling enemies towards you. Pretty solid ability, but honestly, it's not super exciting, but it's just kind of, I guess, silly and fun to just grab enemies and pull them closer. Another ability that I'm really excited about is this Consecration. You're going to be just smacking the ground, AoE damage over a period of time, so it actually does a solid amount of damage, which I'm quite excited about. AoE damage, I'm okay with not being the massive single target damage dealer. As long as I can do a little bit of AoE damage here and there, I'll be satisfied. And one other thing that I wanted to talk about in terms of this amazing, amazing class is the Conjuration of Light buff here. This ability is absolutely amazing. But I will say that it does, I guess, have its niche uses, meaning I think that some of the other skills take priority. So maybe it's not completely a must-have here. But when you're in those situations, when you're fighting the bosses that may have one really, really hard-hitting skill and then has kind of subpar hitting skills, popping this buff and sitting on your allies and not taking any damage from that super hard-hitting skill is absurd. Just being able to immune a specific really hard-hitting skill is absurd. And so another reason why the Crusader just has so many tools in their kit in order to actually progress through the PvE content and make sure that your team is actually staying alive. So super, super excited about this. Obviously, you got all sorts of other stuff that it's going to be exciting about, meaning like the primary attack is going to be changing on the horse. Obviously, we have a bunch of other skills like the Condemn, allowing you to group together enemies. You have the Falling Sword, where you're going to be able to like jump around and launch yourself around. You have the Judgment, which doesn't do a crazy amount, honestly. You're just going to be slowing people down. And then you're going to have the Holy Chains that can go ahead and bounce between enemies and stun people. And then you're going to have some shield charges, shield glare, all this stuff. They're much lower tiered abilities compared to the ones I already went over. But just overall, you're going to have a lot of tools in your kit for both PvP and PvE. And it's overall going to be super exciting to go ahead and jump into this class. Really, really get to know it and just go super hard for Diablo Immortal. So if you are someone out there that is interested in going super hard in Diablo Immortal, or maybe you just want to join a community that's going to be super hyped about Diablo Immortal and pushing the game in general, hosting this team that's going to try to take Immortal on their server, then go ahead and check out the Aftershock United Discord that I'm going to leave in the description down below. And it's going to be super exciting. This is going to be the only Diablo Immortal video that I'm going to post for the foreseeable future on this main channel, unless something changes, because I do want to make it an Ace mainly channel, but I did want to put this video out here on the main channel because I want everyone to know about my Diablo Immortal channel, as well as those people who are asking for where to find me in terms of Diablo Immortal content. Now that being said, I gotta get back to spreadsheeting, and I'll see you for the next one.